Hello everyone, my name is Jerry and welcome to today's video. Today, as you read by the title, or if you can't read, I'm going to say it for you. We're going to be renovating one of the worst houses in all of The Sims 4, which is Plateau Place in Strangerville. As we all know, the houses in Strangerville are not good, and this one is no exception to that. It's so big and it's so just ugly. Like, I don't usually try to describe other people's builds as being ugly. However, this one is just plain bad. And they try to make the excuse of like, oh, the houses look like that because it adds to the strange, but it doesn't add to the strange. It just looks lazy, especially given the fact that this pack is $20. You're paying $20 for a completely empty house. The rooms in this home are completely empty. There's nothing in them, and it's just really bad. So I tried my best to give it a renovation. I actually think the renovation turned out to be pretty good, not to toot my own horn. But as you can see, I'm just going around trying to fix the shape as much as I can. I don't know how I did it. I must be a witch or something because I actually think that the shape of this house is really, really good in the end. And I'm so surprised with myself that I managed to fix it as much as I did. But as you can see, I'm just fixing up the front and a little bit of the sides as well. I started off with just completely demolishing the roof and getting rid of it because I wanted to see exactly what I was working with, and I couldn't really see that with the roof that was on. So I completely got rid of the roof, and then as I was trying to go around and just look at everything, it took me a while to actually start when I first opened this because I was like, okay, I really want to renovate this house. I wanted to build a Victorian house because the last house that I built was pretty modern, and I'm a Victorian girly and I love Victorian homes. So I wanted to build a Victorian house. And when I was looking in Strangerville, I saw this build and I was like, you know what? I've already renovated the other two houses that are on this like hill up here. So I want to do this one too. I haven't renovated those houses on my channel, but maybe I will eventually like redo it because they were a really long time ago that I renovated those homes. But I didn't do this one because this one scared me. I'm not gonna lie. Like when it came down to me just opening this build up and looking at it, I was scared. I was like, there's no way. I don't think I can fix this. It was one of those things where I was like, is this even possible? But anything is possible if you try hard enough. And this build took me forever. However, I'm very, very happy with the way that it turned out. This build ends up having 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. I believe the original house also had 4 bedrooms. I don't really remember how many bathrooms it had. Honestly, I can't even call the original rooms in this house bedrooms because 3 of the rooms had only a bed and a dresser. I believe what was supposed to be the master bedroom, it had a bed, a dresser, a TV, and a couch and a mirror, and then it also had an ensuite bathroom. That was it. That was everything that was in the room. And then the other 2 bedrooms had one little single bed and one dresser in both the rooms. There was no personality, there was no nothing, nothing in those rooms. If those are supposed to be kids' rooms, the kids have absolutely nothing to do, but I tried my best to make sure that they would have more stuff to do in this house. I will say I did only keep one TV, and it is in the master bedroom, and it's only the small little tiny box TV from, I believe it's the basement treasures kit. I believe that's what it's called. And I only have one small little box TV because in the end, this is a Victorian house, so I wanted to keep it old-fashioned and only have that one little box TV. And there's only one computer as well, and that's also in the master bedroom. The other rooms in this house include an infant's room, a child's room, and also a teenager's bedroom. I made sure that there's actual stuff for them to do in each of those rooms. And then I did end up keeping the pool. The original house had this giant pool. I don't know why it was so humongous. But I did end up putting a pool in this house as well. Mine's is not this big, but the original house had absolutely nothing to do. So I was trying to make sure that I put a couple of activities for your Sims to do in this house because I know they probably want you to go out and explore the world of Strangerville, which is probably also another reason why they made all of these houses so empty. However, not everybody wants to play with the whole Strangerville thing and go out and explore and try to kill the mother plant that is turning everyone into zombies. So, like, you know, I just tried to make sure there was actual stuff for you to do while you're at home. But as you can see, I basically finished with the exterior of this house. Well, I didn't finish with it. But I did come up with the shape already, and right now I'm just deleting all the walls and all the stuff that is inside of the house, just to kind of give myself another bare slate, given the fact that I couldn't really see what I was doing, especially because there was just despite the fact that this house was so empty, there was also just too much going on. But I put this freeze around. This freeze is from the Vampires game pack, and I love this freeze so much. Every single time I build a Victorian house, I always use this freeze. But now I'm just painting the house. I did keep it the original beige color that it was before. It's like this yellowy kind of beige color. And then I tried to keep the orange roof. I put it down for like a millisecond, but I did try to keep the orange roof just to kind of tune into the original. However, the orange roof color is just so hideous that I just hate it so much. But I ended up using this fence from Strangerville, and then I also used the doors and windows from Strangerville as well. The columns are from Strangerville, the spandrels are from Strangerville, and then I also do pair it with a base game window, the one with the shutters, because I wanted windows with shutters on them. However, the ones from Strangerville only come in medium wall height, so there would be no smaller version. I wish that there was a smaller version of the shuttered windows from Strangerville because that would just look so nice and would help me out a lot when it comes to building. However, we only have that big, massive version that comes in medium wall height, which is fine. I do really like that window. However, I do wish it came in a smaller version. But now I'm just painting the balconies and patio spaces. I did try to go for brick at first, but then I was like, I don't really like it. So I ended up using this wood. I use this wood all the time. This is like it's not new anymore, but it's like a newer base game wood that we got. I think we got it a while ago when it came out with Growing Together. Was it Growing Together? No, it was High School Years. I think we got it with High School Years, and I just love this. It is so perfect on like outdoor patio spaces that I just use it all the time. But this is basically the entire shape that we end up going for. I'm just putting down the windows, and it is honestly kind of unrecognizable from the original, but I think that that's a good thing because the original house was not very pleasing to look at. But I'm actually so happy with the way that this turned out. I will say though, I kind of want to do a challenge where I try to renovate an EA house, except I do it like a shell challenge. So you know how with shell challenges, you're kind of given a box and then you have to try and turn that box into a functional home or community lot or something without changing the original shape that was given to you. I kind of want to try that out because I feel like with an EA house, given the fact of how weird some of these homes are shaped, it's like a shell challenge in amongst itself. So I feel like that would be really fun to just renovate an EA build as if it were a shell challenge. I kind of want to do that. Maybe I'll do it with like the original Goth house or something. I don't know. I kind of want to start off with something kind of easy, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think the Goth house would be easy to renovate. But I do think that it would probably be something good to start with because at least I know what kind of vibe I want to go for when it comes with the goth house, because you gotta go for this gothic red and black kind of style. So maybe that'll be pretty easy, but I don't know. Anyways, the basic shape of this house is pretty much done, and we're gonna be moving on into the inside in a little bit. I will say the interior of this house I love, and I don't even really like decorating interior homes. However, I had so much fun when it came to this. Like I said, I'm a Victorian girly at heart. I'm a Victorian girly at heart, so I just love decorating Victorian houses. And this one, I just had so much fun doing it. I don't show me doing the floor plan, however, I am showing me putting down the doors, which I don't usually do. And I also don't usually show me picking out the flooring and the wallpaper, given the fact that it always takes me forever to figure it out. But this one came together pretty quickly, so I just thought it would be good to show, especially given the fact that this is a renovation, so it would be nice to show me actually putting down flooring and wallpaper. You will quickly see, however, why I don't usually show me doing this, given the fact that I am just so indecisive when it comes to these things. But I do end up going for this base game flooring. This is like a really expensive floor, but I do end up using it. and I do end up using this wallpaper. However, I don't go for the white trim. Instead, I change the trim to be brown. And right now, I'm just putting down filler furniture. I do not go with any of this furniture. So if you see me putting this down and you're like, what the hell is that? Do not worry. I do not keep it. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm trying to do in the layout that I'm trying to go for. But as always, we are starting off in the kitchen. I kind of always start off here. And I end up going for these base game counters. I really like these counters. These are my favorite base game counters. So I end up going for them. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, if we would have had the base game update at the time of me building this, which we kind of did, but it wasn't until like later on after I already finished the kitchen. If we would have had the base game update, I probably would have used that counter set instead. However, I do really like this and I do think that this kitchen turned out to be pretty good. I don't usually go for this layout where it's kind of like wrapped around a corner because I don't usually build kitchens with this shape. However, I do kind of like it and I think it's strange, you know? And I think it fits because this is Strangerville. It's supposed to be strange, it's supposed to be different. This kind of stuff adds to the strange. A weird shaped kitchen adds to the strange, even though it's not really that strange to have this kitchen. However, I just don't usually do it, so it's strange to me. I am also super indecisive when it comes to picking a backsplash for this kitchen. I was thinking about going for some sort of brick, but in the end, I end up going for a brown base game tile. Also, I do not end up using these curtains. I end up using the ones from I completely forget the name of that pack. Every single time I have to name that kit, I can never remember what it's called. However, I will point it out to you as soon as we get there, as soon as we change the curtains. But I do end up changing them. And now I'm just cluttering up the kitchen. I will say this island does change. I end up changing it to have like a more L kind of shape, I guess. It's not really an L. It's more of just a straight line instead of this like circular part because I was trying to find some sort of cabinetry or something to fill this empty wall, given the fact that like it was just so long and I didn't really know how to fill it. So I end up putting cabinetry from the base game, the same cabinetry that's on the upper head cabinets, and I end up just merging it into the counters. And thought it looked pretty good, if I'm being completely honest with you. I end up using these, and then I just put some bar stools here, and I thought it was definitely different for me, definitely a little bit strange. But I end up do really liking it. But here I am changing the wallpaper to have the brown paneling instead of the white. This is kind of where I decided on the color scheme was going to be very brown. It's like more brown, kind of dark orange kind of colors. I was completely inspired by these bar stools from I think this is the Horse Ranch pack that came in. I was really inspired by these. As soon as I picked these out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is the color scheme for the entire house. It's like this dark orangey color with like hints of gold, and I just really love it. I love this entire house so much. I kind of want to play in it. I did play in it a little bit when I was playtesting it. By the way, I did playtest this entire house. Everything works. So you will not have any issues as far as I'm concerned when it comes to playing in this house if you do want to download it. I did play test the entire thing, even things like playtesting every single chair just to make sure you can still sit in them. So yeah, you should not have any issues when it comes to playing in this house. But anyway, like I was saying, I really did have a lot of fun when it came to decorating this house, and I love it so much. So I hope you all like it as well. But here are the curtains that I was talking about. I will put the name of this kit on the screen. I can never remember it. Every single time I need to remember the name of this kit, I can just never remember what it's called. I think it's something deluxe. Maybe? I don't know. I can't really remember, but this is the little dining section. I just end up using this base game table and I end up using base game chairs. There's a lot of base game in this house, surprisingly. Given the fact that a lot of the base game furniture is very kind of older Victorian style, if I'm being honest with you. So the base game really did come in handy when it came to decorating this house. This entire set right here is base game. This rug, the table, the chairs, all of this is base game. I will be honest with you though, I did not hold back in terms of pack usage. I used basically almost every pack that I have. The only pack that I didn't use is the new one, Businesses and Hobbies. That pack just came out. I just want to know, whoever's watching this, are you excited? I have yet to get it. It actually came out like after I already finished this build, if I'm being honest with you. So it's not like I would have been able to use it anyway. However, I've been watching so many videos on it and so many pack reviews and everything. And I just want to say that I'm low key very excited. Like, I cannot wait to get my hands on it and to actually get it. I'm kind of waiting a little bit to buy it because of the fact that, first of all, I have to spend my own money on it, and secondly, I don't really have the means right now to be buying a Sims pack. I need to remember my priorities. Like, I still need to eat and pay bills and be an adult, unfortunately. So I cannot buy the new pack right now. However, I'm very excited because I have so many ideas in terms of how to use that pack. But anyways, as you can see, we have basically finished up the kitchen now. I'm just kind of putting down this trash can. I don't know why I use this trash can from Snowy Escape. I think this is the only one from Snowy Escape that I end up using. So if you don't have Snowy Escape, you don't need it because this trash can is literally the only thing I think I end up using from that pack. And then I put down the Space Game chandelier. I don't really ever use this chandelier, so I was kind of nice that I got to be able to use it now. And then I end up using this fireplace from Life and Death. And I'm very, very happy that I was able to use it because I've been wanting to use it since Life and Death came out. However, I have yet to build anything in this kind of Victorian style. And secondly, it's a bit weird because it has this skull on the front of it. However, given the fact that this is a house in Strangerville, I thought it fit really nicely to have it here because where else are you going to use this? Besides in Ravenwood, obviously, but like having a fireplace with a giant skull in the front is like such a Strangerville thing to have, you know what I mean? So I ended up using that fireplace in this house. Plus, it only works on medium wall height. It's kind of like that fireplace from what's it called? Cats and Dogs. I think also there's a fireplace from of Magic that also only works on medium wall height. So yeah, I have not been building with medium wall height and building Victorian houses. So I have yet to use that fireplace, but I got to use it and I think it looks really, really nice. And I think it fits the vibes of this house so well. So I'm very excited. However, moving on. I end up using these couches from Get Together. I do not end up using them in this green swatch. At first, I was going to because in this green swatch, it comes in this like lighter kind of wood color. However, at one point, I was just like, you know what? I don't really care. I'm just gonna mix the woods, because I end up using like this darker brown and also this like lighter brown wood and mixing them together because a lot of the furniture that I wanted to use, they either came in the dark brown or they came in the lighter brown. And I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna mix and match. It doesn't really matter. It kind of fits anyway. So I ended up using these get together couches in like a creamy color with like a darker brown wood instead of this green one. Plus, the green didn't really fit with the vibe that I was trying to go for. Like I said, I was kind of going for like darker browns and oranges with like hints of gold. So this green didn't really fit too well. So I ended up changing it. I did try for a moment to use the orange, but that also didn't really look that good. So I did not end up going for that. But anyway, as you can see, we are now cluttering up the fireplace, and I tried to pick out clutter that I don't usually use. I try to pick out stuff that would be a bit strange to have in a regular house, however, would be perfectly normal to have in this house. Like I used that hand from paranormal stuff. I don't know what that hand is supposed to represent, but it's like this hand. I also tried to use the ghost in a jar from I think it's Life and Death. I think they came with Life and Death. But I also don't end up using that. I think it was just a bit too weird to have a ghost in a jar. But I probably should have used it if I'm honest with you. I think I could have leaned a little bit more into the whole Strangerville aspect. However, I was just having so much fun, like just decorating this house for, just regular human beings that I didn't really care too much about where I was building this house. If I'm being honest with you, at one point, I completely forgot that I was even building in Strangerville, so I did not lean too much into the whole Strangerville aspect. So I'm sorry about that. But I still think that this house turned out pretty good anyway. Did end up putting a couple of Strangerville posters in the kids' bedroom, so maybe only the kid really cares about what's going on. But also, I made the teenagers' room kind of like very astrology based, you know, because with Life and Death, we got these new posters that are like, I forget what it's called. I really forget what it's called, but you'll know what I'm talking about when we get there. But anyways, we are now moving on into the entryway, and I will say for this entryway, you're only gonna see me make this closet. This is like a custom closet that I made where I basically use these shoe racks and this like coat rack from base game, and then I merged it in with these bookshelf things from what's that pack called? The Book Nook kit. And then I put these doors from base game and then I merged it in with the windows from Discover University to kind of create this custom closet thing because I didn't really like the closet that came with Get Together. I didn't feel like it fit too well. Plus, it was a little short and I kind of wanted it to take up more of the wall. So I end up doing this instead. And then I put a side table over here with a mirror, and then that's all you see. Because I was for some reason a lot of times with this build, I kind of forgot to continue recording. There are some parts where I would stop recording and then I would forget to continue recording. So then there's like parts that I skipped over. So for this, you're only gonna see me put down this side table and also this mirror from the Cozy Bistro kit. And then I'm gonna pull out a couple pieces of clutter and then we're gonna skip over and we're gonna go into the hallway that leads to the staircase. And in that hallway, I just end up using this like, yeah, see, we skipped over it, but yeah, I end up using this like side table. I don't know if it's a side table. I don't really know what it is, but it's this thing from what's that pack called? I cannot remember any of the pack names. Oh my God, from For Rent. And I don't usually use this because I don't really build in this style. I haven't built in this style in a very long time. So I haven't gotten the chance to really use this. Plus, it's kind of small but also kind of big at the same time because the grid around it is like two tiles and it takes up those exact two tiles. You can kind of see it whenever I snap anything to it, but it takes up those two tiles and your Sims can't like for some reason they can't walk close to this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they made it like this, but these two tiles like just make this whole item kind of weird, but yeah, anyways, we're now moving on into the bathroom, and this is the only bathroom that I show you because it's the only bathroom that I recorded. However, this bathroom is like the worst one out of all of them because it's the smallest one, and I don't even end up keeping this in the end because, like I said, I didn't have the base game update when I first started building this. However, during the process of me building it, the base game update came out, so we ended up getting the new counters, and the new counters, I ended up using them for the bathrooms instead of doing this whole like merging this side table into the sink. First of all, this would not have worked. I always continue to try and do this where I merge in this side table to a sink to try and make it longer. I don't know. And it never really works, but I always try to keep doing it for hopefully one day it'll work. I don't know why. Like it's it's not like they're just gonna make some update where it's just like, oh yeah, this now works. But yeah, this wouldn't have worked anyway, so I ended up replacing it with the the new base game counters that we ended up getting. But yeah, this is the smallest bathroom out of all of them. There's only three. There's an ensuite bathroom for the master bedroom, and then there's this one, and then there's another one in the hall bathroom upstairs. But you'll see that in the screenshots because I take pictures of that bathroom instead of this one because it's bigger. It has a bathtub in there and it's a lot nicer to look at instead of this one. For some reason, I keep showing you guys the worst bathrooms in the house. I did the same thing with my last build, but yeah, anyways, I ended up just putting bookshelves in this hallway. This hallway is very simply decorated, but now we're moving on into the back area, which is the room that leads into the back door. And I ended up using a display case from the Cozy Bistro kit. I have yet to be able to use this, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to use it now because it's honestly really nice looking and I like it a lot. I just haven't really had the chance to use it. And I ended up using this sofa from Vampire's Game Pack and it matches really well with the chairs from the Get Together pack, which is the chairs that I used in the living room. It honestly looks like it could have been in the same pack, if I'm being honest with you, which is nice that they work together so well. And I end up using this radio station from Don Lothario's kit. I can't really remember what it's called, but Don Lothario's kit, I end up using the radio that comes in that kit. I didn't actually end up thinking that I would be able to use that pack in this build. However, I did. And if you don't have that pack, that is the only thing I end up using from there, I think. I think it is. It should be. I don't remember using anything else from there, but I end up putting these pillows on this couch, and this couch reminds me of the one from Bella Goth's new kit that we got recently. And I actually really like it a lot, and I'm glad I got the chance to use it because I don't use this couch that often, and I think it's really nice. Anyways, I kind of just want to talk real quick and let everyone know why I didn't upload last week. Again, I don't really think anyone really cares that much. However, I posted for the first time in like a good few months, not last week, 2 weeks ago, um, because I finally got around to doing it after procrastinating for so long. And then in that video, I was like, I'm gonna upload more, like I want to upload once a week, da 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 da. And then I ended up not posting for a week again, and that is because my luck is so freaking bad. I ended up getting sick with a really bad head cold, and I was literally just dying the entire time. I missed 4 days of work. Like, that is so bad. Like, I missed 4 days of work, and then I had to just, and you know what else happened? Is I was gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna work on a couple of builds, right? I'm working on builds. I ended up saving, guys, when I was working on this house specifically, right? I ended up saving into one of my files, right, on my game, and I ended up saving into the wrong one, and I saved into the one where I'm working on my next build. And so because they were two separate things, it like overrided it. So I ended up losing my build. Yeah. It ended up I was so upset, y'all. Like, I was already sick. I was already missing my upload. And then I lost my next build. And I was so mad because I actually really, really liked it. And it was taking me forever. Like, I basically almost finished the whole thing. Like, I'm gonna give you a little bit of spoiler, but I was building two houses on the same lot. They're like pretty small houses. They weren't like massive or anything. However, I was I was building them for so long. I furnished both of them almost fully. I think I fully furnished one of them, and then I have finished furnished the other one. And the way that I do my builds is I usually build the shell of the house and then I furnish everything and then I do the landscaping and everything outside. Um, so me furnishing the house is basically like me almost being done. Like all I have to do is just do the landscaping and stuff. So the fact that I literally lost all of that progress when I was almost done, it like hurt my soul. Like I'm not gonna lie because I really, really liked it. However, it was also kind of a blessing in disguise a little bit because I wasn't really fully happy with the way that the builds were turning out. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, it was good and I liked it, and I was just gonna settle for it. However, I think me being able to start over was low key a blessing because I wasn't 100% happy with it and I was just gonna settle for what I had. But yeah, so that's why I ended up not posting last week. I did restart on the build. And instead of two houses on one lot, I now have three. And they're just like three small houses. So that's a little spoiler for next week's build that I'm going to be releasing for you. But anyways, back to this build. We are now moving on into the master bedroom. We just finished the upstairs hallway, and in that hallway, I put the grand piano from Wedding Stories. I love that piano so much, and I keep using it in like almost every build. But I just love it so much, and I'm gonna get my money's worth out of Wedding Stories, okay? Because I ended up caving and I ended up buying it, so I'm gonna use it, okay? But yeah, I ended up putting a grand piano in that hallway and a bookcase. It's very simply decorated in the hallway. I did end up skipping over the part where I put a side table down and I just kind of plainly decorated it again because I there were parts where I forgot to continue recording. So there are parts that I skipped over. But anyways, for this room, this is the master bedroom, and I ended up putting this like nook space using a divider. It's just a divider from Life and Death that I ended up using, and I didn't even know that Life and Death came with a divider until I was scrolling through the menu and I found it, and it fit so well. I was already using a lot of Life and Death in this build anyway, so it ended up matching really, really well, and I loved it so much. And I ended up using this base game desk with this chair from Life and Death. There's a lot of Life and Death in this one room. The bed that I ended up using is from Life and Death. And then there's also a little poof that I end up putting in the corner over here that's also from Life and Death. So that pack really came in clutch when it came to this build. I actually really like that pack. I haven't got the chance to really play with it, like play with ghosts and everything. I really, really want to. However, I just haven't really had the time or the chance to really do it, so I haven't done it yet. However, I do really, really want to because it seems like it would be fun. However, I will say that whenever I do play the game now, I always turn off the make heirloom, create an heirloom thing. And I'm so glad they gave us the option to turn that off because it's so annoying whenever you click on anything, like a chair, the toilet, the stove, like you click on anything, it says make heirloom. And sometimes I always accidentally click on that, and I'm just like, dude, I don't want to make this an heirloom. Like, please leave me alone. So I always deactivate that now whenever I play the game. Um, so yeah, I'm glad they gave us the option to turn that on and off because it was really, really annoying me. But anyways, as you can see, I did end up decorating that little nook space, and I did also end up decorating that area over there with the wardrobes that I used from Snowy Escape. Oh my God, I just lied to you because downstairs I was like, oh, the only thing from Snowy Escape that I ended up using was that trash can, but that was a lie. I ended up using these. I forgot these wardrobe pieces were also from Snowy Escape. So I'm so sorry about that. I'm a big fat liar, but anyways, I did end up decorating that area over there and I put like a little mirror with a rug over there. Again, I skipped over it because for some reason I just continue to forget to keep recording. But we are now over into the bed kind of area and I put this chair from Life and Death, like this rocking chair. And this rocking chair is so nice. I don't think that anyone like old lives here. I think they just have this rocking chair because it just looks nice. Maybe it's an heirloom. Maybe it's they got it from a grandparent or something. But I'm now decorating these little side tables. I was trying to keep it kind of simply decorated. However, I did put quite a bit of clutter in this house, like a little bit more than I usually do, given the fact that I wanted it to feel very lived in. So, yeah, I do really like this room. I think it turned out looking really nice. But now we are into the balcony, and this room has its own balcony, and the teenager's bedroom also has its own balcony. It's a very small balcony. This one is the biggest one. And I just end up putting like two chairs and this like yoga mat out here. It's very simple to out here. So yeah, and I also end up using this candle from what's it called? The Cozy Gamer Kit. I really like that kit. I think it's a really nice kit, and I've been using a lot of the clutter pieces that come with that kit so often. Honestly, the kits that have been coming out recently have been so good. Like the refined living room kit, oh my gosh, I use the little clutter pieces from that kit all the time now. I don't know what I was doing before I had that kit. Like I don't know how I was living because that kit is honestly amazing. Create CC creators have been carrying the Sims community for so long, and the fact that they're finally now getting the recognition that they deserve is honestly really, really nice. And they have been saving the game with the amount of stuff that they've been putting in the game. That Refined Living Room kit is probably my favorite kit of all time. If you're gonna get a kit, I highly, highly, highly recommend that one because it is honestly so freaking good. Like the couch set is good, the bookcase is good. It's all just amazing, and I've been using it a lot, especially in my more recent build that I'm gonna post next week. I used it so much. Like you would think that that was the only pack that I owned because I genuinely used it. Every single thing that comes in that pack, I used it. But anyway, we are now moving on into the infant's room, and this is the smallest room in the house. It just basically has the basic necessities that you would need to raise an infant. I didn't put the like little play mat thing that they have, because I couldn't really find any room for it. I did look around for a little bit. I was like, maybe I could put it in the living room or just, I don't know, put it somewhere. But I didn't find any room for it. But if you find any room for it, then you can absolutely put it in this house. I always find it a lot better to have your infant in that play mat anyway, because they can sleep in there, they can play in there, they'll get their skills up, or what is it called? Milestones. They'll get their milestones up mostly by themselves, if I'm being honest with you. So, yeah, if you do end up finding a spot for it, then you can put it down. But I did not put it down because I could not find any space, but yeah, this room is very simply decorated. I did not put a lot of effort into this room. I'm not gonna lie. It was very small, and infants are infants, so it's not like I could make up some sort of personality for it because it doesn't really have a personality. It's just kind of a baby. So, yeah, but as you can see, I used this rug from the Refined Living Room kit. Oh my gosh. I need to stop talking about that kit because it's honestly just so good. But moving on, we are now into the kids' bedroom. And for this room, like I said earlier, I did end up using Strangerville posters that I put in here. I'm thinking maybe this kid is the only one in this house who really cares about the Strangerville mystery that's happening. So maybe they're super interested in it, but their other family members just don't really care that much. Maybe the teenager also does care. However, they're thinking it's some sort of like, they don't think it's a mother plant or like a virus going around. They think it's like some sort of spiritual thing. Because like I said, I had the teenager in this house be kind of into astrology and stuff. So yeah, I forget what it's called. Tarot cards. That's what it's called. I had them be into tarot cards. So it's possible that maybe they just are thinking like it's some sort of like spiritual thing, bro. Like the the cosmic system is like messed up. I don't know. I don't know anything about tarot cards if I'm being completely honest with you. However, I'm so glad that they added it to The Sims because it's a nice decoration. I'm not gonna lie, I really, really enjoy the teenager's room. If I'm being honest, the teenager is a bit spoiled because they have their own balcony and their room is like the second biggest room. I think it's almost the same size as the master bedroom. It just doesn't have a bathroom, like an ensuite. But yeah, the teenager is kind of spoiled if you ask me. But anyways, for this room, as you can see, it's basically done now. I did put down these paintings from cats and dogs. However, I do end up changing them for the posters. I don't know why I was struggling so bad with this room of like trying to figure out what to put on the walls, but I kind of was struggling a little bit. However, I do figure it out and I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll have them be into the Strangerville mystery. This is Strangerville after all. And I have like basically no connections to Strangerville at all. So putting down the posters was kind of like, okay, guys, like I do remember where I'm building. like I said, I kind of forgot at some points where exactly I was even building this house because I was inside for so long and I didn't really look outside and I was like, oh, right, I'm in Strangerville, so I can just use the Strangerville stuff. And it wouldn't be weird because this is a Strangerville house, and this house was already weird before I renovated it. So anything I do in this house, honestly, would probably be better than what it was originally. But, anyways, we are now into the teenager's room, and for this room, I do end up using these curtains at first. However, I do change them to be those curtains from Life and Death. They aren't really curtains, they're more like wall decorations. My big issue with them is that they don't go down with the wall. Maybe it's because I sized them down, so maybe they kind of like messed up and they don't go down with the wall anymore because I like played with the sizing of them. But I don't know, like they don't go down with the wall and that was kind of annoying to me, but it didn't really get into the way too much, so it wasn't that bad. But I ended up using this bed from Life and Death, and this bed is honestly so cute. I love the pattern on it, and I love just everything about it. And I'm probably gonna use this a lot more, even in like non-Victorian houses. I need to build more Victorians because I do really love Victorian homes, and I'm probably just gonna build so many now, especially given the fact that like we have life and death now, and this fits so well with the Victorian style. I can't really remember which like part of the world life and death is inspired by. However, I do really love it a lot. Somebody's gonna have to tell me, or I'll just look it up. I'll probably just look it up after this and figure out where Life and Death is inspired or Ravenwood is inspired by because the build and buy is so good in that pack. But I ended up using this mirror from the Basement Treasures kit, and honestly, I have yet to use this mirror outside of a basement because it's kind of like older looking and it's like kind of bad. I think there's like a swatch of it where it's like really cracked and really broken, so I don't ever really use it. I just kind of use it in basements where, it was intended to be used. However, I thought it fit really well in this room and just in this house in general because it's like this is an older house. They probably, maybe it's an heirloom. Like maybe they got the mirror from a grandparent or something. Maybe it was in the attic. There is like two towers. The two towers that are outside, they are 3 stories high. So technically that would be considered an attic. You can probably put like a ladder or something into there. However, the only way to get into them would be through the hall bathroom or the master bedroom. And I did try, I didn't show this on camera, but I did try at one point to put a ladder from the master bedroom onto the upstairs tower to like, just to kind of see if I can put something up there. Maybe I was gonna put like the little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like that desk from Strangerville where you can kind of spy on people. I was probably gonna put that up there. However, I didn't really like the way that the ladder looked, so I didn't end up putting it. But you can put it, it does work if you want to put a ladder from the master bedroom into the upstairs tower. And then the only other way to get into the other tower is through the bathroom. So, I mean, that kind of would be strange to have just a random ladder to the attic in the bathroom. You honestly could do that. But anyways, this bedroom is basically done by now. I'm just putting in a couple more finishing touches, and I honestly really love this room. I think it turned out to look super cute, and I love these tarot card pictures. I tried to use ones that kind of fit the color scheme, but also I don't really know the meaning behind the ones that I picked. So I hope that they fit. I don't know. There's one of the Grim Reaper. There's one of this like lady. I think she's in a river or something. And then there's one of a cow plant. And I thought the cow plant just fit, because cow plants are strange. Like a giant cow plant, like that in of itself is just weird. But anyways, this is the upstairs balcony. I just kind of put a telescope so like maybe they're like looking at the stars at night and stuff. And then I moved down here where this is like the little patio space on from the living room, and you can't get off of this patio from like stairs or anything. It kind of just is here. And you could jump off the railing if you wanted to, but you would just land in a bunch of plants. So I would not recommend that. But I just kind of put a rocking chair out there and I put like little, what's it called? Cross stitching stuff out there as well to, if you wanted to sit out there and cross stitch, then you could. And now we are finally back to the outside where we are finally going to be doing the landscaping and everything. And this is the little tarot tent. I think it's called a tarot tent. I don't really, I don't know what it's called, but I put this outside and I was thinking maybe the teenager like does tarot card readings for like the people in Strangerville. I don't know who she's doing it for, given the fact that everyone here is uh possessed. But, I was thinking that maybe outside of the house, whenever people walk by, the teenagers kind of just like, come get your tarot card reading. Like, I'll do it for free or something. Maybe she'll charge you afterwards and be like, oh, you thought this was free? It's actually not. I don't know. But yeah, so now I'm just kind of doing the layout for the backyard. And I was originally going to use like floor tiles. However, I was kind of thinking that I wanted to use this terrain paint instead. I'm so mad about this terrain paint. I'm still mad to this day because if you don't know, when Strangerville released, people were very upset about the amount of plants that were in the environment of having all these beautiful trees and bushes, but we didn't have access to them at all. So that's how Debug was born because they were just like, okay, if you guys want the plants, then we'll just create the debug menu. And they basically put all of the environmental stuff from like every pack ever into that menu. And we just had all access to all of the environment stuff because people threw a fit over not having the Strangerville plants. And honestly, it's very understandable. However, it still bugs me to this day that we don't have a matching terrain paint for the terrain paint that connects up to this lot. So you can kind of see that there's like this sand that's on the edge of this lot, but we don't have any matching terrain paint and it like comes onto the lot. It's like ugh, it's very evident that it's not the same terrain paint. We have something close to it, but we don't have the exact thing. And I still don't understand why when they were giving us um the debug menu, why didn't they also give us the terrain paint? Like, I will forever be upset by that. And I am just waiting for the day where one day they're just like, hey guys, here's the terrain paint that you've been missing out on for years. And they keep doing this because they did it with cats and dogs. There are a couple lots on cats and dogs that have this like sand terrain paint on them, but we don't have anything that matches it in the game, and it just bugs me so bad. And I wish that they would stop using terrain paint that we don't have access to because you kind of want to blend stuff into the world, but you can't do that if you don't have access to like the stuff that is in the world, you know? You don't want your builds to stand out too much, right? But anyways, enough of that. We're now moving on to the landscaping. And the landscaping I kind of struggled with a little bit. I am not very good at this whole desert landscaping thing because it's like I'm a very lush kind of person. Luckily for me, Strangerville is kind of lush, so it's not too bad. However, I'm a multiple flowers, like lots of bushes kind of person. So whenever I have to build in this like desert style, it always kills me a little bit because like I don't want the landscaping to not fit in that much with the world. So I tried my best. I really tried my best when it came to the landscaping. I don't think it's amazing. However, I don't think it's that bad either. I think it fits pretty well. And I think I did my best. And you know what? That's all that matters. All that matters is that I tried my best. I do really like the landscaping for what it's worth. And I use these like little trees, these trees that we got from this is the main reason why people were so upset by the fact that we didn't have the Strangerville landscaping was because everyone wanted these trees, but we didn't have access at what? We didn't have access to them. I'm sorry. I did not mean to swear at you just then. But yeah, so I ended up using this little like tree from the base game because there was this tree on the original lot. So I kind of wanted to keep it and I just kind of sized it up because it was a bit small and I put it in the front of this slot. And then we're gonna move on to the pool kind of area. And for this pool area, I made it kind of like rounded, like this little oval shape. Ever since we got the like rounded pools, I've been like using them so often. I don't think I have made a straight pool since we got this rounded pool feature. It makes sense to have rounded pools and not like a square because a lot of pools in real life are rounded. They're not really that square or rectangle. And I think it just looks better and it looks more interesting to have it be round. And I use these patio chairs from what's it called? I was about to say Poolside Splash, but that is a creator sim kit. I think. I don't really remember what this pack is called. We have so many packs in this game, so many, especially so many kits. There should be no reason why we have as many kits as we do. Like, it is honestly insane how many kits we have, especially given the fact we have more kits than we have expansion packs, than we have game packs, than we have stuff packs. Like, that is crazy. But So no one can really blame me when it comes to remembering all these kit names. Okay, I can't remember them all. But yeah. And then I put this like little swing set over here. Swing set is from Life and Death as well. I use so much Life and Death in this build. But yeah, I used a swing set from Life and Death because I wanted to make sure there was more stuff to do just in this house in general and outside because as we know, the original house had nothing to do like anywhere. But anyways, we are now moving on to this little patio space. This is the back patio, and I don't end up using these chairs from Life and Death. I was thinking about it. However, I don't end up using them. I do think they're really nice, but I thought they were a little bit too modern, so I just end up using the love seat version of the couches that I use in the living room and I use them outside out here just so that you can have a little spot to sit down outside if you want to because it is really nice in Strangerville. It is a desert. However, the world is really, really beautiful. So it would probably be really nice to sit out here. When I was playtesting, there was a heat wave going on. So that wasn't that great. And I had to wait a day in order to take the screenshots because I don't really like the way that it looks when it's all like wavy and stuff. Gives me a little bit of a headache if I'm being completely honest with you. So I had to wait a day, but it's honestly really, really beautiful here in Strangerville. Especially after you get rid of like the whole virus thing happening. Because if you have the virus going on, then um your Sims are gonna there's like little plants that pop up everywhere. But yeah, anyways, we're now decorating this little patio space that's outside the kitchen. And I'm just gonna put down a few more finishing touches and then this build is basically gonna be done. So thank you all so so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all think I did a good job with this renovation because I really really like it. So hopefully you do as well. If you like this build, you can download off the gallery. My ID is jerryspillz with a Z. And I will see you guys in my next video, which is hopefully, fingers crossed, gonna be next week. Bye, everyone.